All right, welcome to CSEI 1100 week 5. Let me share my screen. I have gotten some emails about people having trouble using the Safari book. So let me show you again how to log into this so you know. So if you come to a link and you click, and you get this where it says start your free trial, click on sign in. Okay. You see where it says using single sign-on SSO? Simply enter your company email address and click sign in. So all you do is enter your school email address, okay, like so. That tells that you're from ETSU. Then click in the password box and then click on sign in with single sign-on. This will take you here, all right? And you'll be in. Now, it might take you to a second sign-in where it asks for your ETSU username and password. That's fine. Go ahead, do that, and you'll sign in and you'll be here. That's how you sign in for free using your ETSU credentials. All right. So this week we're going to start talking about Word. So let me pop up Word. And to do that in a Windows environment, you simply come down to the search box and type Word. And it pops up on the wrong screen. And there we go. There's Word. Now, what is Word? Word is a word processing app, meaning you can write papers, you can do flyers. It allows you to manipulate text and other things within it. Back in the 80s, we had basic word processors. WordPerfect was one. So was Lotus 1-2-3. That was a big one in the 80s, Lotus 1-2-3. It was actually the best one back then, but we had it. But we also still used typewriters a lot because not everybody had a computer. Oh yeah, not everybody had a computer and a printer, which was an extra cost. So when you pop up Word, this is what you'll see, all right? And you have a blank document, and then you have what we call templates here that you can use. I'm going to use a blank document. We'll talk about templates a little later. So I'll click on that, all right? Now I can come back to File, and it takes me back to the same place. What a template is it is a pre-formatted Word document. For instance, this snapshot calendar. If I clicked on that, it would bring up a pre-formatted calendar that I could enter dates and other things into. Same thing with the resume and other stuff. Now, there is lots and lots of templates out there, right? I can search for other templates. These are just the most popular ones here, all right? I can hit more templates, and then here they are. But I can also search for those templates. Let's say I want to search for menu templates. It'll search the internet, and it'll bring up those menu templates, okay? That's how that works. All right. Now, if I come back to File again, I have my most recent documents in here. okay? Stuff that I've looked at within the last, well, over the last month, actually, that I can go through and just click on those and bring them up rather than having to search through the file system to find them. The only problem is if you move one of these within the file system, this will no longer work. Just be aware of that. All right. On to Word. This is a blank document. All right. This is the title bar right here, because that's where the title is. By default, the title will be document 1, all right, -Word. This will change when you save it to whatever the name you save it to is. Let me pop this back up. This is the quick access toolbar. This is where you have tools that you use the most often. The ones that are there by default are save, spelling and grammar, can't repeat, can't undo. Well, actually that's undo and repeat is what they are. If you want to add a command, you click this down arrow and you have commands here that you can add. You can also go to more commands. And you have the most popular commands here. These are the commands that are currently in there. These are the ones that you can put in. Now I can go from popular to all commands. That's every command I could possibly put in there from Word, all right? So if I come down and I do something like, let's see, I want to do something that is not going to mess me up too bad. Normally, I would do spelling and grammar because that's actually a really good thing. I know what I'll do. Insert picture. So I click on insert pictures, I click add, I click OK, and now it appears in the quick access toolbar. And I can click that and add a picture without having to go to the insert tab. Now, when I say tab, what I mean is this. These are tabs. This whole thing in here is the ribbon. This was first introduced in 2007, Office. The ribbon is where you will find all the commands and all the tabs that you use in Word. You're going to find that this is the same for Excel and PowerPoint and any Office product you use. So these are tabs. This, okay, is a group. We call these groups. So this is the font group, paragraph group, styles group, clipboard group, and so forth and so on. These are commands that are within the font group. All right. So this is the bold command, which is within the font group. This is the center command that is within the paragraph group. And you will note that when I hover over it, a little tip box comes up and tells you the name of the command and what the command does. So if you're not sure what something does, just hover over it, and that little tooltip bar box will come up. Okay? Won't last forever, but it helps. You have your standard close window, restore window, minimize, ribbon display options. Now, what this does is it says auto hide ribbon, show tabs and commands, okay? If I do an auto hide ribbon, it hides the ribbon. If I do show tabs, it just shows the tabs. If I do show tabs and commands, it goes back to what it was. This is what I use normally, because I like everything to be open so I can move very quickly through what I have to do. We have a status bar, which is this thing down here. That's a status bar. That tells us things like how many words, what page we're on, focus, what mode we're in. Right now we're in print layout, I believe, mode, web layout. You can zoom in, zoom out from that, all right? Okay, a couple terms to know. The blinky vertical line is the insertion point. That's this thing right there. When you type, that's where what you type will go, the insertion point. The I-beam is your mouse insertion point, or your mouse, okay, pointer. This is what you can highlight things with and click on things with and so forth and so on. Now, once you get to a certain point, you do have a scroll bar over here, which is nice. And then, of course, if I highlight this, I get my mini toolbar, which is basically just a collection of commands, both from the font group and the paragraph group, that allow me to do some things faster than having to continue to go back up and down from the ribbon. It's good for that. It's very good for that. So let's do some manipulation of text. Give you some examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a macro, which is a program in Word. It's called equals rand. Open parentheses, close parentheses. There we go. That's a bit better. So equals rand, open parentheses, close parentheses. Okay. What this will do is when I hit enter, it will pull text out of Word's manual for us to use. And there we go. We now have 5 paragraphs. And this is just straight out of Word's manual. So I want to give myself a little room. So I'll give myself 1, 2 lines above the first paragraph. Okay. I'll enter a title, The Fascinating Secret Life of Broccoli. Okay. Now, 2 things. One is, you notice the red squiggly lines, right? That means those words are spelled wrong. All right. That's how you know when something is spelled wrong. But if I come in and change it to the correct spelling, it is no longer red. Now, the thing about secret is, or any words, I can come in, I can highlight it, okay? And I can start typing. Put the correct word in, like so. What I could also do is, if I don't like fascinating, I can come in and delete it and put in the interesting secret life of broccoli, which I misspelled again, so let's correct that. All right, there are other ways to correct spelling, which we'll get into here in a second. Now, let's say I want to emphasize the word interesting. I would highlight it. The quick mini toolbar comes out. And I can do a bold and an italicize. And then that's emphasized. All right. Now I could have used the font group, right? This right here in the Home tab to do the exact same thing. That wouldn't have been a problem for me whatsoever. I can also change things like the font and the size. So what I could do is I could come in and do this, and then I could change the font. For instance, I could use a Baskerville Old Face there. And then I could change the size like that. Okay. There are a lot of different fonts in Word. Okay. Just be sure you understand that. All right. Now that we have that, okay, we can, again, change interesting to riveting, right? Just like we did before. Let me click off that, and it's misspelled. Okay. Now I told you about the line here. Now I said there were other ways that you could check this. And one of them is with the spelling check, which is up here. You will actually find that under the Review tab, Spelling and Grammar. I have it in my Quick Access toolbar. I put it there because I use it a lot. But you click that, it finds that it's misspelled, it gives you the correct spelling, and you can do one thing. You can choose the correct spelling, you can ignore once, you can ignore all, or you can add to the dictionary. The reason you would add it to the dictionary is it may be a word that's not in the dictionary. It could be a technical term that's used in your field that isn't in the dictionary, and you need to add that. In this case, it has the correct spelling. So you just click it, and it corrects it. Okay? You could have also right-clicked the word, okay? And you would have been able to have seen the correct spelling as well if it was misspelled. So let's say I misspelled it again. And then I right-click it. Now you have the correct spelling right there that you can choose. You also have to add the dictionary, ignore all. So that's a quicker way to do it. I kind of like using the spelling and grammar check because it goes through the entire document and checks the whole thing for me so I understand what's going on. Okay. Now, spelling change. That would undo the spelling change I just did. So if I click that, it goes back to being misspelled. If I redo the spelling change, it redoes the correction. That's what undo and redo do in there. That's how that works. All right. Now, I would advise you to use spell check. It will help you. Turning in papers that have misspelled words and bad grammar to your professors will not get you good grades. Will also not get you on their good side either, for the most part. All right. All right. Back in the Home tab, in the paragraph group, we have this command. It is show hide format marks. So if I click that, you now see format marks in here. Those dots are the spaces between the words. They're here and here and here. These are the beginning and the ends of things, is what those are. All right. Now, these can be irritating. Generally, these are used to show things like page breaks and certain types of formatting that aren't always easy to see without them. Now, I want to choose an entire paragraph, okay? Now I could just click and drag through it, all right? Or I can come over here and to the left margin where my pointer turns into a kind of a slanted arrow and just do that and pull down, okay? Or I can just double click in the entire margin next to the paragraph and it'll be selected. That's a left click, by the way, a double left click, okay? The other thing I do is triple click a word, 1, 2, 3. And I can select the entire paragraph that the word is in. Pretty cool, right? So if I think double click, it's the word. If I 1, 2, 3, it's the entire paragraph. These are good shortcuts to be used, all right? Keep that in mind. That's why we show you this. We're showing you not just how to use Word, but how to use it in a efficient manner. So with this paragraph selected here, all right, what I can do is right click and choose copy. Now, what I got when I clicked that was what's called a context menu, which means the options that are shown are based on what is chosen within the document. You know, it's different from thing to thing. Some things are similar, some things are not. So I chose copy, all right? Now I could have also done that with Control C, which is a shortcut key for copy. And then I'll pop down into here, and I'm going to use Control V, and that paste it in. So Control C is copy, Control V is paste, Control X is cut. So what is the difference between cut and copy? Well, cutting means, well, copy is you're just copying, right? So now I have two paragraphs that are exactly the same. I just made a copy of the paragraph. Cutting means that if I do a cut, it actually removes the original paragraph. And then I can put a copy of it wherever I want. So I can come down here and do a paste, okay? And there's my new paragraph. So I removed one and copied it somewhere else, all right? Here's the other thing. I'm going to take this paragraph out because I don't like that. Here's the other thing. If I begin typing, I don't have to stop. All it'll do is it'll go to the next line, like so. All right? That's called word wrap. And it's automatic. It just pops down to the next line. You keep typing. This is really good for when you're working on papers because you don't have to stop and break your train of thought to hit a return button or enter button to go to the next line. It just does it automatically. In the good old days when we still used typewriters, you would have to go, you went to the end of the line, then you'd hit enter, or return actually, because it was a carriage return. It'd pop you down to the next line, and then you keep going, and you hit return again. It really messed up your train of thought. But there were people who were trained typists who could type hundreds of words a minute. You know, it was amazing to watch them. They were very talented people, by the way. All right. Okay. Let's go back up to the title. I'm going to put my insertion point in here. And then I'm going to go to the styles group. I'm going to select the title style. All right. Now, something about styles here is if you hit this down arrow, it will show all the styles that are in there. No problem. All right. So this is now using the title style, which changes the size and the font of my title. All right. Now, down in my first paragraph here, okay, I put my insertion point in there, and then I hit the center button. And it centered the entire paragraph. Okay. I can left align it, which is what it originally was. I can right align it. I can justify it. That's what alignment buttons do, is they align text. All right. So now in the second paragraph, okay, I'm going to put my thing, my insertion point, after the first sentence, and I'm going to hit enter. And I just created a new paragraph by doing that. All right. And now I'm going to do it again with that one. And now I have 3 paragraphs or sentences. I'm going to choose all 3. And then I'm going to go to the bulleted command up here in paragraph. And I'm going to click. And now it's a bulleted list. Now within this, you have different types of bullets that you can use. All right. Like so. You can even define a new bullet, meaning you can use a picture. You can use a character that's on your computer for a bullet. All right. It's very simple to do that. One other thing, there is a numbered list up here, which is this command right here. Okay. Numbered lists are different than bulleted lists. Numbered lists are for things that have to be in a certain order, such as instructions. Bulleted lists, are just lists that can be in any order. So this would be appropriately a bulleted list, not a numbered list. Okay. Now, with the bulleted list, if I choose to find new bullet, I get some options. I can do a picture, I can do font, I can do symbol, and there's lots of symbols in here that you can use. Believe me, there's lots and lots of symbols in here you can use, as you can see. I usually go for something. Actually, I don't usually use this, to be honest with you. I just use a plain bullet, but that's me. And that's probably because I like to go simple for a lot of my stuff. And there are a lot of teachers who say that's a good thing. Greek letters, right? So I could choose that, hit OK, and now that's my board, which is cool. Let's talk about images, shall we? Inserting an image. Insert a blank line. So I'm going to put a space between two paragraphs here. Now remember earlier I put insert a picture up here. That's also under the insert tab in the illustrations group. Pictures, online pictures. All right. So I click pictures. And this is my picture folder on my computer. And I'm going to choose a picture from here just because I think it'd be a good picture. Not because of anything overly wrought or anything like that. I just do this. So why don't we choose something, well, we'll go with something a little anime, all right? Yeah, there you go. That's from Code Guys, if you don't know, but as you saw, I chose the picture, it was inserted. Now, when you highlight a picture or you choose a picture, these points will appear around it, these little white circles, and this. If I hover on that, it lets me rotate the picture as I wish. Okay, like so. Now, you will note that at the top, a picture tool came up. Picture tool tab. And if I click on that, there's a format tool or tab, picture tab, format tab under it. And of course, in this, we have picture styles, we have arrange, we have accessibility, we have size, we have adjust. Of course, with size, you can adjust the size manually like that by putting in the size, or you can come in and do it like this, all right, to adjust the size, which actually makes more sense if you really think about it from a certain standpoint, okay? Picture styles, all right, in this are things like if I choose this, which is center shadow rectangle. If you hover over the style, it'll tell you the name of the style. Or maybe that, or let me see, where is it? It's somewhere in here. There we go. Soft edge rectangle. That's a popular one. And you just click the style. And now your picture's there and it has a style. The reason that's popular is it kind of blends it into the document a little. You also have adjust, which allows you to change pictures, compress pictures, reset picture, set the transparency of the picture, artistic effect, right? Which you could blur it, you could do this, you could do a lot of different stuff with it, right? You can adjust the color, like that, or like that, right? You could do corrections to the color if you wanted. You can remove a background. There's a lot of stuff you can do here. You can do borders, you can do picture effects like shadows and reflections and all that. You could do picture layout if you wanted. Okay. The layouts there are, instead of just popping a picture in for the whole thing, you actually have it squared out or something like that. It gives you a little cleaner look or something like that. That's what picture layouts do for you. It gives you a place to put a little text to explain the picture and makes it look a little nicer. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. All right. Now, if I hover over the picture, like so, well, I'm supposed to be able to do it. If I select it, this appears, and that's my layout options, okay? Now, my layout options are how the text will react around that picture. So right now, it's in line with the text. If I did square, it would change a little, all right? If I did behind, text would be over it. So right now, and all this depends on how big the picture is and how you want to use the picture, but be aware that you can move the text around using layout options. All right, page design, design tab. In the design tab, we can do document formatting. Okay, and all that means is that we can come in and we can do themes, right? To make it look differently, like so. I think I want to use gallery, no, organic. I'll use organic. And then my document formatting goes along with that, where I can come in and choose a format in here, okay? And it changes how the document looks. So I changed the theme and I changed the formatting. I can also do page background too. Things like borders, page colors, watermark, okay? So a page border just puts a border in. And to do that, I simply click these buttons like so, and it puts that border in. Now, if I want to change the border to something thicker, I have to click these again to show the new border, all right? That's how it goes. I can use art in it as well, okay? So if I do apple, it's now an apple. And if I hit OK, I now have apples here. I can also do a shadow, okay, like this, where it gives a little shadow in there. Not doing it real well, but it does. Watermark, which we'll talk about more in the next lecture, but if you click draft, it'll put a draft watermark in there, like so. And we'll talk about that more in the next lecture. All right, wood art. In the insert tab, which is there, we have wood art. And wood art is right over here in the text group. We drop that down and we choose one of these. Now we gotta choose the text first to use this with. So we'll just use the first paragraph. And then we can choose a particular text to use here. And there we go. Now the only problem with word art is it should probably be used with the title because that makes more sense. Because doing it within your body really messes up your thing, but that's word art. It's a fancy text that you can use. And then when you do that, you get drawing tools. and format, and word art styles, and shape styles, and insert shapes, and text, accessibility, range, size, so forth and so on with it. Just like you do with pictures. You get the same thing here. It's actually kind of cool because you can go through and change. Ooh, that's nice. Your word art style. You can change the effects, the fill, all that stuff. Okay? You can also do shapes. All right? It will change the shape of any shape that you stick in there, because you can't put shapes into a Word document. Let me come down here a minute. All right? And you will find shapes here under illustrations. And I'm just going to choose an oval, I think. I'm going to choose an oval. So you click on it and you pull it out. And then you get your drawing tools and your format again. And then this. And of course, shape fill, shape outline, shape effects, that kind of stuff. All right. And you can do things like shadows if you want. Okay. That's how that works. Saving and printing. Ah, yes, saving and printing. If we come back to the file, okay, option, the file tab up here, brings us back here. Now first, the save as is what I use, and then I do browse. The reason I do that is with browse, okay, I can choose where I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it in my downloads. And by default, the very first sentence in your document will be the title. So you'll have to click on that and change it to whatever you want. So I'm going to do an example. I'm going to say, example, let's see, better yet, lecture example. And it will save it in my downloads. Pop it back there. And you will note, okay, that now it says lecture example, save to this PC. So that's now the name of your document. Printing. Go to the File tab, go to Print, and you will have your default printer there, whatever that is at your house or at school. That will be in there too, okay, if you're at school. And you can print all pages. You can only print some pages, print one-sided, collated, portrait, orientation, letter, normal margins, one page per sheet, that kind of thing. This can help you a lot in making sure that your paper is printed the correct way. All right. And then, of course, we have things like options down here. And this is what we call a backstage view, or part of the backstage view. And it's like personalize your copy of Microsoft, right? Office background, circles and stripes, Office theme black. It has displays, proofing, save. In proofing, it's autocorrect options, all that kind of stuff. Ease of access, language, advanced. It's a bunch of options that help you personalize Word for your use. And talking of personalize, if you come up here where your name is and you click on it, that's your account. And by being logged in to Office, that account goes from one Office product to the next Office product. So I could open Excel and that account would be there. All right. And I could share things between the products. Just a thought. All right. Keyboard shortcuts. So let me get somewhere where I can type. Well, yeah, there we go. Okay. So some keyboard shortcuts we use and that we enjoy in this, okay? I come in and so here we go. Control C, that didn't work well, did it? Okay, never mind, let me undo that. So Control C is copy. Control X is cut. Control V, paste. Control B, bold. Control I, italics. Control U, underline. Control Z, undo. Control Y, redo. Control plus shift plus less than symbol decreases font size. Control plus shift plus greater than symbol increases font size. And Control plus space bar removes paragraph. Let me try something here because I think I know what's going on with this, and I just need to adjust something here to make this work properly. I think if I lower this, now I really didn't work well, which happens sometimes when you try something. So let me correct this real quick, and you'll get a better idea of what we're looking at. This won't take too long. So you can kind of see what I was telling you before about how these shortcut buttons work, all right? I kind of wanted you to have a visual, a list that you could go down and use in this, which is why I put this up here. Like I said, this isn't taking too long. And we're almost done anyway. Like so, and there we go, okay? So Control C is copy, Control X is cut, Control V is paste, Control B is bold, Control I italicizes letters, Control U underlines, Control Z undoes, Control Y redos, Control plus shift plus less than symbol decreases the font size. Control plus shift plus greater than symbol increases font size. Control plus space bar will remove paragraph or character formatting. And Control plus enter will insert a page break. That's what we call a hard break, okay? But we'll get into that a little later. Just keep these in mind, right? Because these will help you. All right, your homework is here. Watch these videos. I explained at the beginning how to log in to Safari for free, okay? If you aren't logged in, getting started with Office, take that quiz. Read this, do the flyer assignment, do the menu assignment. Flyer assignment is you're just doing a little Word document for me, and then you're putting it in a Dropbox. When this says last name, first name, that is your last name and your first name. So for me, it would be Loveday Ken Flyer. All right. The menu assignment What that does is that asks you to use a template. All right. And I showed you a little bit about that, how you can search for them, how you can find them. You find a template, you replace some stuff in it, you drop it in a Dropbox, and you're good. Okay? No problem there. And of course, please do not forget your discussion. And as always, if you need help, you can email me and I will help you. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.